Alright, morning guys. We just got back running the line, negative 15 degrees, and we didn't have anything. So I come out in the first shed. I had this project set to do here for the last couple days, and I'm finally getting around to it. We're doing this video, I guess, to show you how to be resourceful. You know, with the fur market down the way it is, every penny you can save is, you know, a penny earned, like they say. So what we're going to be focusing on today is disposable anchors. Here in Wisconsin, we have no entanglement rule for our cable restraints. This time of year, I tried it just this year. I absolutely love it, and I'm never going back. I've been using drags. These are just hunks of rebar, bent on the ends, you know, put them in a vise, bend the hell out of them, and just tack weld them all together. I just weld a chain link on the end, and that's where the swivel goes. I got no swivel in the center of this. I have one swivel at the drag, 7 foot of chain, I think, and then I've got the 3 swivels here on the trap. But with your no entanglement law, that pretty much takes away a drag as an option. It also takes away cabling off to a tree, because if you're tangling or tying off the tree, they're going to get tangled. So that means today, when it's 15 below zero and I wanted to set a couple cable restraints, I needed to drive an anchor. It's a pain, but you got to do it. It's the law. The reason I use these is they're light. I can carry 100 of these in my backpack compared to, you know what, 2 dozen rebar stakes. And the biggest reason I use them is they're so versatile. This is a 1-1 double long. This is what I use for coon. I'm going to be using them when we're doing water sets for mink, and occasionally I'll use them for rats. And the reason I like using these disposables with them, you can drive it in the ground like it's intended to be, or you can come over here, get a little closer so you can see, take your anchor, kind of pop it inside itself like so. You can go around a tree branch or a tree root or a, you know, whatever, and run your trap through and just cinch it up tight, the other tight, up against that tree, and you're done. You don't have to worry about the driver. I do this for pocket sets all the time. It works great. It's quick and it's easy. It's a lot easier than driving an anchor in, you know, in that muddy creek bank or whatever, and possibly, you know, falling in. I make all my own. I use Pogos. They're pretty much the cheapest. There's really simple. There's nothing to them. You know, save every penny you can. Let's see. Here's my cable, I guess. 28 bucks. I got it from Tom Florin during the Wisconsin Trapping Convention. 28 bucks for 500 feet. You roughly got about 2 foot into each stake, so you do the math. After that, all you need are your ferrules, little aluminum double ferrules that you use to clamp on the end, like so. These are, I think they're $5 a 100. You know, how can you go wrong? Yeah, you got 2 of these ferrules, and these I think are, I want to say $6.95. If you just get the washers, and I think $12.95 through Minnesota Trap Line if you get them with the J hook. So I mean, you got 20 cents into an anchor, maybe, including the cable. And all that aside, the next biggest reason I like them, kind of goes back to versatility, is when you're using these cable restraints here in the wintertime, you get one catch out of these. This had 1 fox in it, and you know, you can see the cable, it's junk. You're never going to try and straighten that out to reuse it again. Out of this cable restraint, I'm going to get 2 of my earth anchors. And that's why I love it. It's just versatile, versatile, versatile. We're saving every penny we can. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's a lot of money you're keeping in your pocket rather than shelling it back out on equipment. I'm going to show you how to do this. It's just simple as could be. Some of the tools you need, and really, this is all you need right here. You don't even need this, really. This is a J-hook pliers. This is the most valuable tool on my trap line. It was 20 bucks, I want to say. It took me forever to pull a trigger because, you know, 20 bucks for that little dinky thing, but this saves you so much time. I'm going to show you how it works quick if you don't know. It's used for, swivel here, opening up these J-hooks. Open up the end, stick it in there, you see it or not, and just give it a squeeze, and that's it. It's open. It works just as good closing them. Put it around the outside, if I can get it here, like that. Give it a squeeze. It's right back on there. Works for attaching your pogos. It works for taking your traps off a drag and onto a you know, a rebar stake or a disposable stake. It's also got a cable cutters, which we're going to use in a second. If you don't have this, you can get by with the old big flathead screwdriver to open them and you know, a big set of channel locks to close them. It's a pain. They slip off constantly. You can do it. It's just not the smartest and easiest way to do it. We got these bolt cutters for closing the ferrules. You see on the end they don't close. That's what I use. A lot of guys just pound them with a hammer, and I'm sure it works fine. If you don't have a cutters or this cable cutters on this J-hook pliers, you can use a chisel and a hammer. That's what I've been using just to save this, keep it sharp for when I'm out on the line. You know, I don't want to dull it up here in the shed when I can, you know, use my other options. But we'll show you how to take care of these cable restraints. I usually, make sure I got the right one here. I usually start up here at the business end, and we're going to come over on the vise and chop this off right, well, I guess we can use the J-hooks, I'll show you. J-hook pliers. Chop it off right after that stop nut. Now, didn't work all the way through. Now we're going to slide off our breakaway, and then all we're going to do is divide it in half. I'm going to hold this end where we're going to cut it off here, and always check for fraying. I've had a few of these I couldn't use for stakes. The cable was frayed in certain spots, you know, the animals chewing on them. So always check for that. You don't want to use a cable if it's frayed up. So we're going to find centers right about there. I'm going to come over here on the vise. And I'm just going to lay this up here, mark it with the chisel in the center, and one nice good pop. Save on some of your equipment. Okay, you've got in Wisconsin anyways, the opening stop to prevent it from going any wider than 12 inches. And then you've got your deer stop on the working end. Those aren't going to hurt you one bit. Save all this for making more cables. We're going to do that this summer. Up here we're going to have to cut this off because we can't take it back the other way because the deer stop, or the opening stop. Same thing, one good pop, save all that, save our copper tag. You got your support collar up here. This one's garbage. We're not gonna be able to reuse that. So now we've got our 2 pieces of cable. This looks bad. It's all kinked up. It doesn't matter. Once you drive it into the ground, it's going to be straight as an arrow. I'll usually put the kinked up side on the anchor end because it's going to be down deeper, less chance to have anything happen. Nothing ever would happen. It's just extra precautions. Get a ferrule on here. Decide which end you want where. This one doesn't really matter. I guess this end's a little more kinked up, so we'll make this end the bottom. We're going to run the ferrule through. When you get these in the mail, the J-hook's already closed. So we're going to put the ferrule on, just slide the cable through here, run it back through the ferrule, and I always check my length here. I like mine about 2 foot long for my soil conditions. That's about perfect. This one's good. So we're going to come in here with our big bolt cutters. And I usually give mine four crimps. I'll do 2 like that, 1 on each end, and then I'll put an X in the middle in between them. Like that. Now all we do is come up here on the end. This cable's a little mashed up. Sometimes when they're mashed up, they don't like to go through the ferrule. Run it through, bring it back down. Like so. And I like to leave this end a little bit bigger for hooking onto them when you're pulling them out. A couple of them I made just big enough for the J-hooks, and it was a pain getting them out of the ground. So that's about 2 feet, roughly. And that's all the bigger I like mine, so we're going to close it off, and that'll be it. Done. Now you've got yourself a piece of free equipment, a piece of equipment you didn't have before, and saves you from lugging around all that rebar. It saves you from killing yourself trying to beat that big old rebar into the ground. You know, little things you can save money. You keep doing it over and over and over again. It's going to get you farther along. So hopefully that helps. If anybody has any questions, leave them in the comments, and we'll talk to you guys later.